kind of get, having one cohesive strategic goal, will help the overall success versus, human resources wants to get, retention up, marketing wants dollar signs or whatever, but they each do their part, but they still have to uphold the overall sense of the company's successes.
I think it depends on the corporation or the industry.
Yeah.
I think in my job, like in a courthouse setting, no.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because of the fact that human resource and we have it separated. There's court operations and then there's like the other side. I can't remember what they're called, but court operation, their goal is to not really generate money. It's to make sure that we're meeting deadlines, where the human resource, all that other side, they're just they're more on making sure money stuff, where we're just about timeliness.
Right.
And I don't even think they even judge us, but they literally, we're separated. So it's just
do you have one overall strategic goal that sets out provide the best service to the community, and then everybody?
The mission is basically to financially, to provide the best service financially. But in my department, in criminal, there's no finances. Most criminals are broke.
Right.
So they're not paying their court costs. So we don't generate money. We are actually in the negatives, so.
Right. Do you feel like even though your department goes in the negative, that another department may kind of balance you out so that you can achieve that overall goal?
I mean, there's money being generated because you get your license suspended if you don't pay your court costs.
Right.
In the long run, if you're but I think we pretty much break even, and the government pretty much funds a lot of the courthouse responsibilities.
Right. What about you, Andrew? Do you have any perspective on your company, in general, the different departments and stuff?
Yeah, we're broken into divisions and departments, but we're not really departments, but divisions. But we're also in branch offices. So My group is geospatial and utility engineering, but we have 40 branch offices in the United States. So sometimes if people have too much allegiance to their office or to their division and not enough to the company, it causes problems.
Right.
But I can also tell you that if you don't have, I don't really think the executive leadership, the book really hammers on, you need to have that strong executive. Well, an executive's great, but he's in one place. You don't have this executive who's calling the shots every day to everybody.
Right.
You have to have the leadership and the vision in the branch offices within the division to make it work. And we had issues a while back. They consolidated, they reorganized our business, and our IT group used to measure their success by how many tickets they could close out in a day. Well, they're there to support us.
Yeah.
And what would happen is nice drinking of the Diet Coke, by the way. It's a good marketing ploy of the coal.
Product placement.
That's it. So, this isn't marketing. Come on. But they were closing out tickets without fixing things, and the operations folks were getting really mad because it's I'm working on a $5 million project and my computer won't work, and you just closed my ticket. And they had a thing where I was living in Louisiana and people were trying to work on my computer in California.
Right.
They would call me at 7:30 at night, 8 o'clock at night, and be like, well, we couldn't reach him, so we closed your ticket. And I'm like, you're holding up millions of bucks here. Your job is to help me, not to close out the tickets.
Right.
So we actually had our division manager ripped into the guy that led the IT division and basically told him, we'll just outsource your entire department if you're not going to help us. We're not going to put up with your crap. So I don't know. I think it's a mix. There's a lot of interdivisional hatred right now because my group has made money for 30 years in a row. And we have divisions that are in the tank, and people in my group aren't getting raises and bonuses because someone else is losing all the money we make.
Right.
And for us, it's kind of like, what's
the incentive?
yeah, what's the point in me trying harder when, my bonuses are crap for the last 5 years? They used to be great, and now we bought these other companies in merger and acquisition, and they're losing money, and it's like, what? That's not my fault.
Right.
So it's really weird when you get in a big company because we're having retention problems. We have people quitting because they were told they would get a raise and then they don't get it because someone else finished in the red. And now the company's like, well, instead of giving you a raise, we're going to lay 5 people off. And then everybody's like, fine, I'll leave too.
Right. That's interesting though. So do you feel like the size of it, like as you exponentially got larger, that affected, kind of that overall cohesiveness, I guess?
That's something I actually wrote about in my last skill builder is that you don't have, I guess a hard way to put it would be, my division, when we were a private company before we were acquired, we had all our eggs in one basket. We worked in a specialty market, and that market never went down. Even when the economy went down, we still made money.
Right.
But, some of the other units that are losing money now, it's good for them because they were profitable 5 years ago, and now they're down. But thanks to the diversification of the services, they still have a job. The company's still floating their salaries until they can rebound. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, if your company's highly specialized and those markets are making money, then you don't need to be diversified. But if you're diversified, diversification can help minimize your